Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Before we get to the mop top here, you should have something that looks like this. It should be called the lower nape. It is for the bottom portion of the hair or the head that goes around the neck and the lower part of the skull and the back of the head. Moving forward, I'm going to show you a lot of this fast forwarded and a little bit of commentary. And we are going to start on this piece right here before we get to this piece right here, okay? Alrighty folks, so what you see in front of you is me actually drawing, and then I'm going to be cutting out the template for the nape in the upper nape of the neck hairline. It's just below the mop top that we're going to be placing on the lower part of the back side and the sides of the head. You should have this in your PDF downloads, and it should look like what you see on camera here. I am cutting out the permanent template. The cardboard version will actually be the permanent version that I'm going to be using all the time. As you can see, I've already drawn out the actual grocery bag paper stock version of it, and then once I get this all done, we will be moving on to coloring it and actually gluing it and attaching it to the actual nape of the lower part of the head. So you'll actually want to follow all of these steps. Just kind of trace it, cut it really slow, cut all the details out, the corners and all the edges, exactly how you see it in the top left corner of the screen there, the finished piece that I've cut out from the actual template. You'll want to follow all of these steps. I'm not really showing you my version in normal speed because I believe that you can just go ahead and trace it out and cut it out on your own, but I just wanted to show you this. One thing to take note, when you choose a piece of grocery bag paper stock, make sure there is no grocery store graphics on either side. Make sure it's blank. Since we are using both sides, it's going to be flipped over. See that we're using this side and you'll understand why moving forward in the video. We're obviously coloring the top side of this with all the markings because this is going to be the lower part of the nape or the lower part of the neckline, and of course these are the sideburns right there, these two things right there. Now that that is colored, we're going to flip this on over because this is going to be the top layer above the layer that is going to be resting on the neck, and we're just going to go ahead and color this piece right here. Just like this, no rhyme or reason. We can even just, I'll just open this up a little bit more, and it's going to just overlap like this. What we want to do is we want to flip it over, build this up, almost like hot glue paper mache, but we're not really. We're just kind of like putting a plastic layer on it, like this, and taking it off of here. Letting that dry, and we're going to do the same thing with this side, just using the nozzle of our glue gun and just building it up again, kind of doing this the whole paper leather kind of thing. Bring this up here and letting that dry. Now that I've discovered parchment paper, I want to go ahead and just hot glue paper mache and coat the hair follicles down here just like this. And on the parchment paper, just flip it on over like this. And on the other side, we're going to go ahead and curl our fingers up just like this. And this is going to help actually curl these hairs out. Going to flare them out so they're not so straight up and down. It's going to help with the heat and also with the curls. Just like that. Beauty about the parchment paper is it doesn't stick, okay? But yeah, I just wanted to throw this into the video. See what I'm doing with my thumb? We're just going to flare them outwards so they have a little bit of curvature. Gives it a little bit more dimension. We could do the bottom here too if we want. Flare these out. Should flare out nicely because these are now a little bit more of like paper leather, more plasticized at the bottom here. So really, when we actually glue it on over like this, it's going to look like this really. Actually add a little bit more cleanup along these pieces of hair. Just a little bit. Now we can actually bond these two pieces over, comb over if you will. Okay, a long strip of glue right on top of this folding layer. We're going to add a long strip of glue right here. I think that was one full trigger pump. Okay, and we're going to just fold this on over right at the top here. Okay, edge to edge, and while it's drying, we're going to actually push downward. See how my thumbs are going inward like this? Push downward like that, adding a little bit more curve to this so that these hairs kind of go like a zigzag along the bottom line, and gives it that little extra touch. And it should look like this. Let's clean up this hot glue a little bit. It should look like that. So we're going to add the sideburns under hair piece that's going to go underneath the mop top. It kind of looks like a horseshoe, and we're going to fit it right around the under crown of the head. The top of this piece right here should go right to the temple and the top of the eyebrows right here. This right here is a sideburn. Since we're not doing ears on this action figure, we know that the ears are kind of like right around here. Take a look at the other side to make sure that it kind of matches up to the other side as well. That's way off. If we need to shift this over a little bit just like this, go ahead and do so. Rotate it back and forth so it's at least a little bit even to each side, right? And if we know that it's even and we kind of look at it straight on, and the sideburns are the same height, everything's looking about the same, it should be matching up towards around the temple area on both sides. Go ahead and start gluing this. The best way to do this is go ahead and pick a side to let go while we hold on to the other side. The other side's going to keep it in place right here. You can go ahead and start putting glue on this right onto the side piece right here, and we'll go ahead and just crank it tight and put it exactly where we want it to go. And we're going to look at this side to make sure that this looks good too, so we can actually let go of this side. Hit this piece with glue all on this side here. Get that sideburn all up in here. Go ahead and push this down. Taking a look at this side to kind of match it up and make sure that it goes on even. Looking at it straight on. This can be pushed up a little bit before it dries. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue right on the top here and just kind of seal the deal a little bit more. Right in here, right in there. Take away the cobwebs, and I'm going to let that dry, and then we will come back. So we're going to do the mop top. You should have a template that looks like this. Might say mop top on your PDF downloads. I want to let you know that we have an updated version right here. This one was done like 7 months ago. Just recently recreated this one here. Moving forward, you're going to see that there are arrows in the video, but on the new design, you'll see that the sections that we're actually folding and gluing are going to be colorized, color-coded. This is not going to be glued, but just folded. It might be labeled differently too, like no cut for marker and everything else like that. When I'm doing tutorials, I come up with better vernacular or better terms. A lot of these designs, they have been updated as I go, because I've recorded so many different videos. So in the video moving forward in this tutorial, you'll see me using this design to trace this hole out, but in reality, you'll be tracing out the newer design, this one right here, all color-coded. And take note, 1 and 2 right here, 1 and 2, that's going to help us line it up on the piece of grocery bag paper stock. So let's get moving and tracing this out. Take your 3" by 4" piece of grocery bag paper stock. Go ahead and fold it in half just once. We're going to do left to right, kind of long ways. We should have a fold in the middle, okay? Take our mop top design. So basically this is going to be the front side. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little arrow, and I'm going to write front. The front's actually going to be pointing down on the bottom part of the camera. Okay, how we're going to align this is we're going to actually use this middle crease that we just made. And see where it says, try to get it close to the camera, but anyway, this is marker 1 right here, this tiny little marker, and then this says here, this one cut right here is number 2. We're going to line number 1 and 2 right along this folded crease, okay? I actually drew this line here, so it's going to actually go right on the line all the way up and down here. So that's how we're going to actually line it up. We can put this tuft of hair right close to this edge, and we're just going to go ahead and trace this out. This is a marker right there till we get to right around here. Now we're going to go ahead and see where these arrows are. We're going to go ahead and mark all this up and meet this point right here, okay? Keep going all the way around, and same thing here. We're going to actually mirror this side here. Okay, so it kind of looks like that. This is actually a marker, and this is a marker. And we're going to just keep continuing. We're actually connecting this right here. This is a marker. If all goes well, it should look like this. The newer version should look exactly like this with all the marks, the no cut for markers. And by the way, no cut for markers means that we're not cutting it on the actual finished product here, grocery bag paper stock. If you haven't by now, go ahead and cut this out on food box cardstock. On here, the cardboard template, you actually will be cutting out these markers here. These little cutouts will be cut out with your scissors or whatever cutting utensil you have. This was actually cut out from food box cardstock. Go ahead and mark this up here according to all the color codes here. Now keep in mind this green part here, this is not going to be glued down. That's the reason why I made this a different color, just to differentiate what we're doing here. Go ahead and follow all the red here. Hopefully you're not colorblind, but this is red. Hopefully you can see this in grayscale. If so, these are what we're going to want to concentrate on in terms of marking it up. Markings just like this, so it'll be a lot easier, like this one right here, to follow. We can place it right back on here, and I know that that needs to be marked up right here. This needs to be marked up right here. That's a V. We can just place it right back on here to make our life a lot easier. That's a marking right here. Make your life a lot easier and follow these markings right here. So if all goes well, it should look like this, side-by-side comparison. Moving forward, you're going to actually see me cutting this one out. But the same rules are going to apply when cutting this one out or cutting this one out. Just cut it out exactly how you hear it and see it in the video moving forward. We'll go ahead and cut this out. And yeah, and I'll probably fast forward this. And as you can see, I'm just doing a basic cutout to make it a lot easier for us when we actually cut around all these little spots here. I'm going to turn to my smaller scissors here, and we are just going to cut out all these little smaller pieces right here that we need to actually cut out. See, this is where the smaller scissors come in handy, you know. Use our template to make sure that we can actually cut these out and we're not cutting out unnecessary spots or spots that we didn't mean to cut out. Now I know that this is not going to be cut out because that's actually part of the design I made. But we are just kind of cutting around the cardboard spots here. Like this. This tiny piece is left inside, so we know that this actually gets cut out right here. And this tiny piece gets cut out right here. So yeah, alright, we're looking good. A lot of cutting out. It's worth getting to this spot right here. We're going to start folding this and making a bunch of folds so that it curves around the top part of the head. In the video moving forward, this is obviously the old one. You'll see a bunch of arrows. Don't worry about that. We're going to concentrate on all these little colored triangles, and we're just going to go along all these fold lines. Go ahead and start with number one right here. All we're going to do is, this is where the actual fold was. We're going to fold this down and pinch it right where the pinch point is right here. And we're going to fold it right down this first crease right here. Also, going to pinch it at the pinch point here and fold it right down to right on to that line as well. Okay, so it kind of is going to resemble something that looks like that. It kind of disappears. That's not exactly what we want, but we do want it to actually fold that way. As a dry fit, we're going to actually push this mountain peak down. Yep, that's right. We're always going to be pushing the mountain peaks down. And then let's go ahead and follow this fold. Pinch it right at this pinch point right here. Right at this pinch point right there. trying to get this in focus, but as you can see the pinch point where I'm pinching it, and we're going to go ahead and just fold it right down the line like this, opening this up, and we're also going to be folding it right on this line here, and then opening that up, and then on the pinch point and folding it right down this line right here. Tiny fold, but we'll get it right there. Okay. Alright, so we got 3 folds. Of course, we got a mountain peak down here, and I'm going to pretty much do all these folds according to these arrows. This is going to be a tighter fold, a more smaller fold, so this is going to be a little bit, maybe a little bit harder to fold, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead down this pinch point and meet these right here, push this down, and of course this doesn't have a triangle here, like a TB triangle, like a trifold. This only has one fold, but that's okay. That's just how I designed it. And we're going to just go ahead and fold it under like this. Alright, so I'm cutting in here. So basically on the new design it should look like this. It's not a trifold. So basically what I'm talking about, pinch it on this pinch point and fold right along this line right here. Fold along this line here. So basically this line is going to meet this line right here. So like this. Boom. And see how like this underneath here is causing us to be able to smooth this out. Kind of rolling it on our fingers like this. Pushing down the mountain peaks and just really adhering to these folds here. Again, right here, we're going to go ahead and make a pinch point right here and fold it right down this little tiny little line right there. Same thing here, right there, and a little bit of a fold line right here at this pinch point like that. And we're going to just fold this under and just follow this fold like that. See how it kind of like did that kind of an action. Of course, we're going to push that down. Again, this is underneath. This middle finger is underneath. My thumb is rolling right on top of the ball of my finger, just like that, okay? And of course, this here, the pinch point, we're going to go ahead and fold this like that and like that. One's the only one that we're not going to fold. I just made a decision because I just like the way it flowed when it wasn't glued. But we are going to do some hot glue paper macheing underneath this part right here. Okay, so now that we've made all these folds and all these pinch points here, we can make some choices here. Now, we can color it right now with the black Sharpie. So it kind of looks like this. This is one of the finished heads. Here's one that we've actually put some gloss on. Or we can just go ahead and glue it and paint it later. I'm going to go ahead and glue it because I need to be able to follow all these lines here. Let's go ahead and do that. We've got this pinch point here. This is going to be a very, very delicate fold right here, but that's okay. All we need to do is just fold this over just a little bit right at the pinch point. That, and we will go ahead and just stick a finger in there, pinch right here, and just kind of let that bevel up naturally like this. That's what we want. We want this to bevel up a little bit, okay? Let's go ahead and start gluing this together. Basically what we're going to do, we're going to start with these first 2 folds here. We're going to get our junk mail ready here. We're going to tear off some small pieces, very tiny pieces, because this is going to be going underneath the hood of the mop top, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and start with this one right here. New design, this is the main fold right here. We're talking about this red triangle right here. And go underneath, take one of our little pieces, and put a tiny pinch of glue right here, right on this little fold that we made. We're going to fold it back over and use this for the heat and also to help assist with the gluing part of it. And let that just kind of adhere to this first fold. As we glue along, yes, we are hot glue paper macheing, but we're also using our fingers to fold and mold it and making it more of a bend. Let's go ahead and concentrate on this part right here. On the new design, this is the main fold right here, which this one is going to actually fold under like this. And we're going to put some glue right on this seam right there. Taking a little piece, and we're going to let that overlap and fold, just like hot glue paper mache. And we're going to go ahead and actually put a little bit of curve while it's drying, okay? A little bit of curve. just like that, because we want it to actually curve down. And we're going to do that quick while the glue is drying so it can actually leave a natural curve, just like hair. Okay? Now we're off to a good start. Let's keep going and see how the arrow is going this way. I'm going to cut in here. So we're working on this design here. Since we are not paying attention to the arrows anymore according to the triangle color codes, my suggestion here, and this is a little tidbit, is to pick a side we're going to be gluing this on. Put a little bit of a pin drop of glue right here on one side, right? And right when we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and put this little piece of newspaper coupon junk mail right here on that side, right? And we're going to flip this side over of the junk mail that doesn't have any glue, add a little bit of glue, just a tiny bit on the newspaper junk mail, and then we're going to go ahead and push this down following that fold just this way, and it's going to make our life a lot easier. And once we do that, we're going to turn it over and do a lot of just folding and molding and pushing this mountain peak down. Put some glue in here, fold it over like this, and using our hot glue papier-mâché, just kind of doing that and actually folding and molding and pushing that mountain peak down using our fingers, our fingernails, just like that. See how it's bringing in some shape? Now we want this one to go this way. Don't worry about picking a direction according to my old design, since we're not using the arrows anymore. Pick a direction, go left or right, and just pick a direction and just glue it down with the newspaper coupon junk mail. So we're going to go ahead and, like we did before, we're going to push this on over, and right at this pinch point right here, we're going to fold and mold. Okay, bringing this back over. A piece of our newspaper junk mail ready. Small little pump of glue, pin drop of pump of glue, and then we're folding this back over and putting this and bringing this on inside like this. We'll tear this away and just kind of pushing and folding and molding, pushing that down, checking our work as we go. Okay, and now this one's going to fold this way. Let's get another piece ready. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right in here. Putting a little tiny piece inside here. And pushing that down a little bit. Okay, just like that. Just pushing down all the mountain peaks here. Okay, and this is going to fold over like this. Okay, so we're going to put a pin drop of glue right here, right there, on this inside, and this is going to just fold up in like that, using our newspaper coupon to help assist with that. We're going to tear this away so it's not exposed, like that. There we go. And this last one, like I said, we're not going to actually glue these together, because if we do, it makes the back part of the crown too tight. We are going to go ahead and let that kind of naturally fold along those lines. And to reiterate, the green triangle that we're talking about here, that's not going to be glued. Not the red ones, but the green one. Not really papier-mâché, but hot glue and on the back side of this piece. Taking a tiny bit of our newspaper coupon and actually just following these folds here and letting it dry with a little bit of a curve. Okay, letting it dry with a little bit of curve here, like that. And let's go ahead and tear some of this away like that, and we're going to reopen this up a little bit like that, and that's looking really good. Okay, all goes well, it should kind of look like this. Okay, it's not totally finished, but we are going to go ahead and make it look finished once we actually color it, and we'll go ahead and do that right now. Let's go ahead and paint this sucker. our black Sharpie. Remember, you had a choice in the very beginning that you could color it before or after. Now, you may think, hey, I'm going to color it before because it's on a flatter surface and it's just a lot easier if you paint it before then rather than do it now, because there's going to be some areas you might think you're going to miss. Well, that's entirely up to you. I just did it because I wanted visibility to all these markings here. If you can visually look at your template after you've painted it, go for it. I wanted to visually do it on camera, gluing it before we actually painted it so that you can follow along with all the directions of the arrows and the folds and the bends and all the gluing. Just kind of inspect it as you go, really. Alrighty, that looks great. Let's go ahead and dry fit it. That looks really good. Now that we have it on top of the head here, we can actually do a little bit more fine-tuned painting and get all the areas that we've missed. Now that we have a solid surface to paint this on. Now that we've painted this and colored it, dry fit it again to where we know it's going to satisfy us, and putting it right there. We're going to concentrate on this back part of the head because we want to actually now push this in and give this a little bit more shape and not so alienistic on the top end of the head, because we're now pushing it in to where there's nothing here. We're taking full advantage of that. Now that we've pushed it in and basically giving him some brain surgery or some skull surgery or lobotomized him, whatever. We're gonna take this off, and now that we've loosened this up, put a thumbnail in there and actually hit the center. Fingers up in here, just pushing the center, putting a part down there like this. Now that we've done that, we can actually take a little bit of our newspaper coupon, and we're going to put one pump of glue down in here. One pump. And we're going to shove this on up in there. And we're really going to concentrate on folding and molding and making this back part of the head look more formed. Using our fingers to really get in there and really squash that down like that. We're still kind of folding and molding, but we are actually just squashing this back part of the head down on in there. I'm going to tear away the excess here because we don't need this anymore. We can actually throw this away. And yeah, that looks good. That looks a lot better because when we put this on, it doesn't look so balled out here. It starts to look a little bit more like hair on the top as well. Now that's not as perfect. And while we're on it, we can actually do a little bit of hot glue papier-mâché right up in here. Just a little bit, just so that we can make sure that these bangs and these flyouts will last a little longer. Folding and molding as we go. And that's looking good. Okay, we're going to tear away some of these pieces like that, especially this piece right here. And we can go ahead and attach this guy. I just want to make sure I'm attaching it exactly where I want it to attach. We're going to actually bring this back up here. Let's put a tiny bit of glue in here, just adjust this, you know, course correct as you go. And push that down. Actually, let's do a little bit of hot glue papier-mâché right here. Blowing on and off camera. And we're going to flare these out right here. Just a little bit. Like that. Let's actually do a little bit of glue right here. Blowing off camera, and we're going to flare these out a little bit. That's all we're doing. That's good. Let's go ahead and repaint these. You know, just a little bit of touching up. That looks good to me. Go ahead and attach this. What we want to do is give you a little bit of a tip. See these little lines? This one on the right side, or this side that my thumb's at, you're going to line up to the hairline. Right as we put the mop top on and this little line disappears into the hairline, that's where we want to fit this. Because this mop top is meant to have where only one eye is exposed, and if you wanted to flip this, the other eye is a little bit exposed. That's kind of the style we're going for, because in the movie that's kind of how my hair was, with the little flare outs like this. When this line here hits this line and the end of this line disappears right at the hairline, that's kind of where we want to put it, and you can kind of manipulate it how you see fit. When I look at it, that's how I like it. Right there. Now that we've dry fitted it, I'm going to go ahead and feel around where I want to put some glue on the starting point. It's going to be on this side of the skull. And there's a reason for that, because we're going to flip this other side up. It's going to be a lot easier if you do it this way. So I'm feeling around, and I know that is where we want to start with gluing it. Around this temple and all up in here. Let's go ahead and put a half trigger pump glue and right up in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just fit this on here. Right in there, and I kind of like that. And we kind of have to be quick about this one because it's going to obviously dry fast, but I'm going to go ahead and fold and mold here and kind of let that dry and settle in. So now that we've let this side dry, it's going to be a lot easier to lift this side lid. Probably because now we can see exactly and we can feel where the rest of this glue needs to be glued onto, especially this outer under edge right here and along this back line. And we can actually put some glue right onto these little flare outs if we want. But we can definitely put some glue right in this top temple and forehead area right here. I can even feel where this glue is going to adhere to right around in this area. So let's go ahead and just do that, okay? Let's go ahead and put some glue right here on this top part of the forehead, this side right here, and the back piece right here, and underneath here. And that's really all we need to do, because we can go ahead and just plop this down, do a little bit of folding and molding. We want these flare outs to stay kind of like flare outs because that's the style. Fold and mold and let it dry. That's it. This should dry in about a minute or two and we should be able to rock and roll. Let's let that dry and move and groove.